Hey guys, it's Epoch. I haven't made one of these Ramble videos in like 4 months, and I just got inspired by watching a Pat video where he goes over the forum post that was made for people to give their feedback for the Shiny War. And as you can see, I've been competing in it. I have 4 Cryogonals and 4 Cubchews, as well as this Trapinch and Chatot. Um, Let me add up my points real quick. So this is 6, 16, 26, 36, 46, 56. 58, 60, 64. I have 64 points for the Shiny War. Um, I think that's kind of near the middle of like what my team's average is. If you guys go to the registration thread, I'm on Field Team 6. Um, that's our team name. The reason why we're wearing like the military outfits is because like the real life SEAL Team 6. we we're usually all on like channel 4. Let me see how many of us are here right now. So yeah, we got like Ginger Matt, Shiny Carp, Nathan, Luke Kennedy, Nick Shark Glacial. Got a whole lot of goats here, getting it done in the cave. And yeah, like we've all been putting in a crazy amount of time on this game. What's crazy is I've been putting in like 10 to 12 hours a day, and that's like on the lower end of like what a lot of our members are doing. It's crazy how much time you need to sink into this event in order to like be in order to compete, basically, you know, because a lot of these other teams they're not fucking around. We're really trying our best to win. As far as we know, we think we're in the lead, based off like what some of the other like Chinese teams are saying they're at. Um, but you know, with no official scoring system, or I guess no official leaderboard going as the event goes, like there's no real way to tell if they're lying to us or you know, like it's kind of a shit show, and there's a lot of like fucking espionage. It's like super awkward between like talking between people because like I don't know, you tell somebody your score and then they get weird about knowing it, and then they fucking tell other people, and that person, somebody who doesn't even know your fucking score, or somebody who doesn't even like, it's just a gigantic fucking game of telephone, and it's really weird. Um, that whole shit would be alleviated if they had figured out some kind of way to make a leaderboard during the event. But as far as I understand, like from talking to Park, um, the event was kind of like made not really like pretty quickly, but like there's not much like dev involvement, you know. So you know, I think that he did a great job with this event because like one person to host a game wide like a really sweaty tournament like that's a lot of responsibility for one guy, and I think honestly it's turned out pretty good. Um, I think outside of this Cryogonal Cave, like the event's pretty balanced too, like the way they did it. Um, there's enough like 3 times hordes that give 6 points in the game that are like viable to where it's enough time to spend 2 months to like get everything that you can possibly want. You know, like there's a spin to spot. Here, I have like the chart pulled up. So yeah, okay, so like tier fours. Yeah, Minchino spot's really good because that shares with Trubbish. And then the nighttime Trapinch spot is just the meta for the whole time. And I actually don't mind that being the meta for the whole time because, like, in order for you to complete that spot, which would be getting 2 CAC turns and then 3 Trapinches, that would take so fucking long. And I don't think anyone's actually gonna do that in a 2 month time. Um, as well as it like only being night. Uh, that's not that much time to spend at like one area. So that being like meta for nighttime, outside of the Cryogonal Cave, I actually don't mind that. I think that's perfectly okay. Um, yeah, Darumaka is also good. The Zorua spot's really fucking good. The Throw Sock spot with Marowak is also really good. There's like a whole lot of spots in the game that are like decently viable, you know. And yeah, I think outside of this Cryogonal Cave, like the event was pretty balanced. There are some like weird ones, you know, like when you start looking at like tier 3 and fucking Corsola being in the same tier as Cryogonal, like what kind of fucking sense does that make? Corsola is like I think it's like a day only 20% fishing, and to get to odds on that would take like, I don't even know it off the top of my head, but I just know it's like fucking astronomically more time than going for a than going for like a Chad or a cryo, you know. And I understand, like, from talking to Park, I believe the reason why this cave was so scored in such a way is because they thought like running back from the PC would kind of take too long, as well as it only being for like 1 month of the event. But honestly, as the events played out, like half the time being spent in here, like, yeah, I, I don't know. I feel like some people foresaw this spot being really fucking good. But anyway, there's always going to be like one meta spot, and I think that like yeah, like I said, outside of this cryo cave, it's pretty tame. Um, I do like the way they're doing it with species as opposed to like encounter method, because I don't know, during like some of the shiny wars that I've participated in, there's always like some weird shit going on where you kind of have to trust the person when they say like, "Oh, I encountered it this way," or fucking, you know, um, it's a lot easier for them to score, I think, based off species is what I'm getting at. Um, some of the like even some of the scoring for the high tier Pokemon as well are pretty weird. Like the Phenos, they all have like 50-50 gender ratio, and them being in the same tier as some shit like Riolu, where Riolu is like it's a baby Pokemon with a fucked up gender ratio, and you have to use like happiness at day or some shit to evolve it every time you breed. Like that hunt is way more complicated than than just doing 50-50 eggs for the Pheno Pokemon like Drilver. Um, yeah, those being in the same tier, that makes no fucking sense to me. There's a lot of tiering shit that makes no sense to me, but you know, uh, given the amount of time they had and the amount of resources they had, and as far as I know, like the ability at which they can score things, I think this is perfectly fine. Um, tell you what's not, uh, what's so weird though is like the tools that they're able to use to score things, because like I was watching a Frouts podcast, right, where he had Park on, and they were talking about some things, and they said like they were talking about like why doesn't Safari have a have like some kind of multiplier or like some kind of points bonus, and Park was like, because there's no way we could tell. And I'm like, dude, it's on the Pokemon. Like when I'm watching that, I'm like, dude, it says in unless they just don't store that data with, of like catch location or whatever, like that, I don't even know, man. Like some of that stuff just seems like in my head so easy that they would be able to track that. But as far as I know, like they're literally gonna manually go through and do this shit. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely a pretty kind of bare bones event. But honestly, I think it's been going pretty all right. Um, there's a I really wish there was a leaderboard though, so we could kind of compare scores with the other teams that are like really trying to win. Um, I'm not sure. So it's actually interesting because some of the other teams I've talked to, like when I compare scores with them that like aren't taking it as seriously as we are, like they'll literally my friend's team has like almost completely given up because I told them what we were at, and then they told me what they were at, and they're just like, nah, fuck it, we're not spending 2 more months on this shit, which just goes to prove the point that like 2 months for an event like this is way too goddamn long. Um, I think 1 month is perfect because like 1 month is already enough to like weed out the luck factor. You know, I think that's really what they were going for when they decided to make the thing 2 months long, is to make sure that like nobody got like crazy lucky in the first week and just fucking slam like just won it immediately. You know, but uh after this like kind of, or not like test run because this is like the official thing, but after this run of the event, I can tell you that I think 1 month would have been enough. Also, they need to make this event more fair. Like it's so I'm gonna show some or not show, but I'm gonna tell you guys some numbers right now, and it personally it makes me want to fucking throw up thinking about how much I've spent on some of these hunting methods. So fossils are really fucking broken for this event, right? You can get 450 25-point encounters in an hour, right? They're slightly more expensive than eggs, but you can get to odds on fossils in like 5 days, right? So I had spent a shit ton on fossils, and so has my team. We've only popped one so far, but um, let's say, okay, I could just tell you guys how much I spent on the fossils that I bought. I know I've spent around 190 mil. All right, and then on top of that, I've probably spent 70 mil on leopard berries. I've donated like 40 million to my team. Um, I've spent like well over 60 in charms. The egging costs, dude, what's 16,000 eggs? It's like I don't even know, but it's in the tens of millions. Those numbers alone, like we're already fucking getting like over 300. Like it's pretty insane how much money you needed to be competitive in this fucking event. It's pretty fucking foul. We have a lot of like grinders on our team who really didn't have a lot of money going into this event, and we're just completely fine with just throwing money at them to get them to fucking hunt. You know, one of our like one of the goats of fucking shiny hunting on this game. His name is F.A. Burke. He this dude literally, I think he's like right here in game. Yeah, he is. He's on our team. He didn't have a lot of money going to this event, and we're literally just paying for his egg hunt because the guy does so many fucking eggs in a day. Um, yeah, like we have like a budgeting channel or whatever, and like, dude, we have like uh a number associated with each player we have to donate to, and it's just like for, I don't even know the amount of organization that needs to go into fucking getting your balances right for doing an event like this is crazy. Uh, and I can't help but think that like for players that don't GTL snipe or aren't like just super old players that are just grandfathered into having wealth on this game, like dude, you got to spend like $2,000 on the game to remain competitive. It's kind of fucked up. Uh, they got to really remove the money aspects from an event like this for it to stay a fair deal. Because like I have friends who have told me like, dude, I spent $100 just to like keep egging, and I think that's kind of fucked up. The game in itself is pretty pay to win, and I don't really explore that aspect because like I snipe and I make videos about how to money make, and I try to teach people how to money make in this game so they don't put their real life money in. But I don't know, it just makes me kind of sad when this event's supposed to be about like how hard can you grind for a certain amount of time when in reality you need that funding to be able to grind in the first place. It's yeah, it's not really fair. I don't think. I mean, the game's always been about balancing the amount of money you make with shiny hunting and all. Yeah, this event really isn't fair in that aspect. I think the event should reward the hardest like shiny hunting grinders as opposed to like the people who have the most money in the game already. Because like I don't know. There's an aspect to like if you're a hard grinder on this game, you probably do have money, but at the same time, like I know a lot of people who play this game for fucking 18 hours a day and they're broke. So it's like, yeah, it's a weird thing to talk about. But but yeah, I don't know. I've just been kind of honestly, this game has taken up a lot of my focus in the last like during the summer and the shiny war. So I was making that like from 1 mil series, and then they announced the Shiny War, and I just kind of completely stopped making that series. I kept the account going. I got it up to like 128 mil, right? Since whatever, like a month ago or whatever when I started that. Um, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the account yet. Like maybe I'll do like a 100 to 1 bill or some shit. Fucking. But my friend Noonan, he made like this chart that shows a lot of the statistics from the first 16 days of flipping on that account, and I really want to show that off because that shows a lot of the kind of stats if you're starting with 1 mil. Uh, how much you'll be making, because a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, you can make fucking 5 mil an hour sniping, which is completely possible. But you need to have a lot of money to start with. Um, I think probably my hourly rate on that account is around 3. Uh, but it would be a lot higher if I started with say like 100 instead of 1. I'm just getting at that. Um, but yeah, I mean that's why the videos haven't been coming out, is because of Shiny War. Uh, yeah, I've just been playing this game so fucking much, and I wanted to share some of my thoughts on it. Um, yeah, I hope I really hope we win, because we have a lot of people putting in a ton of time on this game, and we always have a presence on Channel 4 Twist Mountain. We've kind of made this our like impromptu area just so we can see who's online or not. Um, oh yeah, I went on Young Cabbage's channel to talk about like this and some other topics around the game and stuff. And yeah, that video is super good. Me and him had a great discussion about a number of things in the game. Um, yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else to talk about. um, I hope I get some more cryogonals. I hope you guys do as well if you're competing. um, best of luck to anyone who else is in this, and yeah, take care.